Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you can give me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
Another episode of Chippy Tee Podcast. It's episode number 23, I think, am I right?
Yep.
And what is it? What's Chippy Tee Podcast? Well, it's just a nice, easy, relaxed catch up on the week that's happened between me, Tony P at Palm Print, and
Danny Dave from Flippin' Sweet. Oh, Danny Donald from Flippin' Sweet Prinko.
continuity. It's all about continuity. So nobody knows.
Nobody
So what do? We basically have a little bit of a. It's not usually a whinge, but we have a little bit of a look back at what we did last week. Is it screen print related? Well, it's supposed to be. There's no guarantee. If you look at the small print, there's no guarantee whatsoever.
to fill an hour and a half somehow.
Yeah, so it could just be the ramblings of two guys from up north, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. We can cope with that. So, as we go forward, we are going to basically have a look at what the week was for me while I'm travelling doing consultancy, and Danny, who's still stuck in the 1980s, pushing a squeegee on a manual press.
Yeah.
So, Danny, tell me, come on, what's made you smile this week? No being no negative shit. What's made you smile
Let's
this
start
week?
on a high.
What's made, because I know you're going through shit at a minute, so I'm not even going to go there. What has made you smile this week? Look back, last 7 days, what made you go, yeah, I like that?
Just chipping away, honestly. Just chipping away, getting jobs out at door.
Is it that difficult?
Boxes.
It's that difficult to find one good one.
Because I've not had a chance to play with all. Normally, in a normal time of year, I'll sneak in with a little bit of fun jobs every now and again, and I'll do something. Like recently, I've been playing with iBuild and messing about, etc. But this past few weeks, it's just all production, non-stop. And the only joy I can take from that, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy screen printing. But under the pressure and under the stress of getting everything out for people, the thing that I take most joy off is just ticking them jobs off and just seeing them go. And
I'm going to ask you a really personal question on that note now.
Go on it. I went socks in bed, yeah.
This is going to be a car crash. The money. You've had what you described as probably one of your busiest weeks, especially with the week before, because you were working late, getting stuff done. Do you ever think to yourself, I really, really enjoy the money? That's good money for me. Do you ever get that money-driven thought?
No. Money's as a business.
As a business, money is the yardstick by which you measure your success.
It is really, yeah. We talked about what is success, and purely from a business perspective, well, it's profit, it's money in bank, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely, yeah. Which the government then takes,
which the government takes off you at the end of every year. So, well, somebody once said to me actually, they said, "I love paying tax." I said, "Why?" I said, "Because it means I've made the more tax I pay, the more money I've made."
No,
and I still don't get it.
No,
I still don't like that philosophy.
It means you've got the wrong accountant.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you've not been dodgy enough, have you?
No. You haven't declared anywhere near enough expenses.
No. I'm not money driven in the sense of I like a big number in my bank and I like lots of flashy things or any of this shit. I'm success driven and motivated by just bettering myself, bettering the business, growing and achieving something achieving something what I consider to be exceptional. Because I've never been exceptional at anything. And this is what I want to be exceptional at. I want to be an exceptional screen printer. I want to make a difference in this industry. I want to be a standout printer.
How do we measure that? How do we measure your success? You say you want to be a successful screen printer. How would we measure that success?
Well, in basic terms, money in bank. I mean,
yeah. So name me another screen printer you think is successful.
It's a bit tight, that.
It isn't it? Yeah.
Well, there's lots that stand out.
A shop.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, when I first got started, the one that stood out like a sore thumb was Monster Press. They stand out. So many shops like Flood Print and Vinyl Sangra. But Sarah, Heck Press, she hasn't got autos or anything like that. She's obviously a successful screen printer as well. Lots of shops.
So let's say an auto is going to cost you $100,000, and you set yourself out to do enough work to save that $100,000. Is that part of your mental plan? So I would say a busy week. Put some money in the auto jar.
Yeah, definitely.
Put some money in the auto jar.
Yeah, I mean,
is it a busy week? Go on holiday.
No.
Me get pissed around Newcastle and forget your own name and stuff.
Lose my phone and everything. No. So I guess in that respect, the time I allow myself to feel proud of what I've achieved is the time that I've put enough money away and I'm in a position to go out and buy an auto.
Yeah.
Then I will allow myself to feel a little bit proud of what I've done and allow a little bit of relief, and I've cracked it now, because I know that will be the next big step in the journey of building this business, and things will transform. Even though I know it's introducing a whole set of new problems, but as far as production and the amount of time I need to physically print, it's going to reduce dramatically. And that will be the big box to tick.
There is an argument that you're no longer a craftsman artist, that you just you're now moved into production, and high production compared to what you do are two completely different animals. You might as well retrain to be a bricklayer.
I don't know. I feel like all you're doing is you're just upgrading your tools that you've got available, because the process, the skill, for the most part, the biggest chunk of it is in pre-press. The biggest chunk of the skill and
80%
knowledge must be. I mean, what I do on a press, there's an element of skill involved in, angles and pressure, but the majority of it is knowing what order to print in, what mesh to use, what squeegee durometer, knowing how to prepare your artwork, or knowing John. But
we should get John on.
He refuses. I've asked. He refuses. Don't want to show his face. Man of mystery.
We'll blur his face out like a criminal, like Crime Watch.
Yeah. I put one of those voiceovers, but I feel like we have to do that now.
Voice of a paid actor. So you don't really sort of like, so I've had a really good week this week, I've made $20,000. That's not how you see a good week.
No. A good week is getting plenty out the door, no hiccups, no delays.
Happy customers.
Happy customers, yeah. And if I'm enjoying the process, if I'm enjoying it, that's a good week. There's weeks that stress is a factor. The more stressy a week, which usually comes with the pressure of trying to get everything out in time, which again falls into, this is why I need to tick that box of getting an auto, because there'll be less pressure, because I'll be able to churn out so much more.
Well, actually, there'll probably be more because you'll promise more.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
The quantity of work that you put out the door now, let's go a number of pieces, will probably be a day's worth of work for an auto.
Yeah.
So therefore, you could actually feel like you're not doing enough, because you're only working for a day. The other 4, what are you doing? Well, so you're going to have to then go mad out. The other stress will be, oh my God, I ain't got enough work.
It depends how you do it, doesn't it? If you get an auto on finance where you've got to make a certain amount a month to pay the bugger off, that's where the stress comes into. As I mentioned, my goal, realistically,
you don't do that, do you?
No, realistically, I want to buy an auto. Tick that box. Right, it's mine. It's done. It's my auto. No pressure to make payments. Get out the exact same amount of work I'm doing. If I can tick that box, I'll be happy, because I'll have so much more free time to work on building the business and finishing the website and Instagram and all these little projects. But I will obviously grow. Sit with a bag of table salt in Bath. stuff like that. I mean, obviously, once I get that auto tick the box, there'll be a bit of relief, and then they'll be like, right,
there'll be another
let's
box.
get some more orders in.
There'll be another
of
box to tick. Yeah, there always is. There always is.
But for now, all I'm focused on and all I can see is get an auto, get a bigger space, tick them 2 boxes, and then I'll be chuffed.
Okay.
I think it?
But no, I think it's important sometimes to know why we're doing this shit, because I reckon, I've just looked at your Instagram and shit, and it looks like you're having a mare with DPD.
Yeah.
And you have to sometimes sit there, and you're going to have a crappy sort of next 3 weeks.
Yep.
Running up to Christmas. Not crappy as in nobody died, only T-shirts, nobody fucking
No.
But,
they're just fucking T-shirts.
Your stress levels are going to be up here.
Yeah.
You know, your stress levels are going to be high, and you're going to question, why the fuck am I doing this? And that's what I was trying to get to with that. Why are you doing it? You know, what's the driving force? For some people, it's a bigger house. You know, or to not live with a mum and dad. For some, it's a bigger auto, a nice shiny red car. Whatever it is, there's usually a driving force. And some people, it's money. You know, a big pile of money to swim around in, like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah,
it could be that.
I think what motivates me, I think we could get real deep here. The psychology behind it. I think for me, it's proving.
It's not failing.
It's not failing. If there's anything that scares shit out of me, it'd be failing at this, and not being able to succeed at this and make a living from this get. But it's that proving that I can be exceptional at something, and I can do something on my own 2 feet with nothing. Started from scratch, nothing, but I've made this, and I'm going to make
a little bit of help from Metallica, but yeah.
A little bit of help from Metallica, a few knockoff T-shirts. Might have bought me a few bits of equipment, but they've made enough money, come on.
Oh yeah, they'll be fine. Anyway, they'll be fine. Yeah.
We'll get there. So chip away. For the week, like you say, the next few weeks, it's just non-stop production. And then it'll be, before I know it, Christmas Eve. I'll have a chill day on Christmas. And then I'll get back in here and finish my little odd jobs. Build my shelves. And, which I really do crave for. The majority of the year, I crave to just have a little tinker, build some shelves or something, or do a bit of painting. So that'd be nice.
Awesome.
So, what's your grand master plan? See, as well, we're getting deep.
Grand master plan.
You're a screen printing consultant. Do you see an end in sight, or do you just chip away and keep going?
I'm a little bit.
Because you must love doing it.
Honestly, I tell my kids, find something you would do for free, and then try and find a way to make money out of it.
Yeah.
And this is something I'd do for free. Just strike that bit, edit that bit. No.
Well, I've not seen you yet, so I guess.
No, I really, really do love it. I sometimes stop and think to myself, I really do love my job. And I used to love doing what I was doing before, running screen print, with a passion, a proper passion of, you can't take it away from me. I tried leaving this industry 3 times.
Really?
Notoriously. I did a full year working in a bacon factory.
Wow. Wow.
It was called Farm Stores, which was they supplied Asda.
Right.
So it was a bacon factory basically. Full abattoir attached to it.
What prompted you to go, I've had enough of it? So you just asked me that question. What prompted you at that point to go, I've had enough of this shit, I'm moving on?
Oh, if I remember rightly, I got far too big for my boots.
Right.
Because I was making difficult jobs look easy. I was getting more pieces out than anybody else. I wasn't getting paid a lot, but I was 21, so I believed I knew everything.
Yeah.
I think it was 21. I think it was that time ago. Yeah, I believed I knew everything. Absolutely, completely, utterly convinced that at 21 I had nothing left to learn about screen printing, about life, about anything.
God.
I notoriously said to the top printer where I first started, I'd been there about 6 months, on a night out in York, pissed up, talking shit, and
posh.
And I said to him, "I'm done." "What do you mean?" "But it's been 6 months. I know all there is to know."
Completed it.
Done, yeah. Ticked it off, yeah. Level complete.
God.
And he looked at me and laughed. And when I think back, I was right. I did completely and fully, utterly understand the theory and process of pushing him through some holes in the screen.
Yeah.
Granted, it took me a lot longer to learn the craft and the trade, but the actual physical process, just nothing, it wasn't rocket science. And to me, it was really simple. A simple process to one, analyse and two, correct. So, of course, I got absolutely ribbed to death for about a year after that. I could tell that on this pound an hour, thinks he knows everything. Printing, done it. But apart from that, I got so big for my boots, I actually walked out of this job that I was really good at and I was really well sort of respected and everything, but I was 21, so I walked out.
I thought I'd go pack some bacon.
No, I was looking for a job and said, right, that's it. I'll never, ever print again. Never going back to printing. It's crap, it's shit, I'm not doing it, it's rubbish.
God.
So I went and went looking for jobs, and my sister I was living with at the time, her boyfriend worked at the bacon factory. She says, I'll get you a job if you want. It's on 210 on afters, and it's this much money. It's like 3 times what I'm getting paid as a printer.
Yeah.
Like, really? Why the hell would I go stand and get covered in plastisol ink, breathing in spray tack, washing my hands with cellulose thinners, and listening to bullshit all day when I can just go pack bacon?
Yeah.
But it wasn't packing bacon, it was unpacking bacon.
All right.
That's basically the bacon would come in and most of it's from Danish bacon, so it is frozen. And you have to basically unpack it, throw it in a basket on wheels. There's 10 baskets on wheels, and then wheel that round to the slicing line with the girls on the slicing machines, and they just put it through and it automatically slices. And this was just this constant thing.
Yeah.
And it was mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
But that's what but that's what I liked about it. All I did was trade time for money.
Yeah, I guess.
I gave them 8 hours of my time from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And in return, they gave me a big wad of cash.
Yeah.
Because it was a 24-hour plant. I didn't care what happened when I went home. It wasn't my,
No.
I'm here. I'm going to take these boxes off this lorry, open them up. You're supposed to open the box. So my sister's boyfriend started like, this is Tony, he's going to do this. Right, yeah. And he said, don't make me look a tit, will you? No. Because we're on piece rate, time and money.
Yeah.
So you have to take these little boxes that are about that deep, about the size of a...
Yeah.
And you put it against your chest.
And snap it.
And snap it. All 4 corners.
Right.
Well, I watched him do this. I picked this box up. This box is like 2 mil cardboard, if that. I'm like, yeah. I couldn't fucking do it. This cardboard box.
And that's when you took
he's looking at me.
Letraset.
Yeah, and he looked at me and went, oh my God, what have I done? But eventually I got it, and that was my job for nearly a year, just mind-numbingly. Turn up for work, get dressed into pyjamas with boots, because you had a hairnet and everything. So everybody looked the same.
Yeah.
Totally uniform. You couldn't tell who anybody was. If you saw someone from work, outside work, you
wouldn't know them. Yeah.
You look different with clothes on. There's never a good opening line. And then I did 12 months and said, that's it, I'm never going back to screen print. Never, ever, 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 ever. And what I was doing, I started to look for other work, because I'm like, this was great for a year, but can you imagine doing that my entire life? I just couldn't think of anything worse. There were guys working in the abattoir that have been there like 25 years. And I'm telling you now, someone who kills animals for a living, there's something not quite right with their personality.
No, you've got to be
don't get me wrong.
Unhinged, I think.
When you get a beer down them, they're awesome. They're a good life.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to question someone who chooses that as a lifetime career. That aside.
No, but there's anything wrong with that if anybody listening to it. But...
Welcome to the vegans.
We've probably got a few, to be fair.
I started to search screen print jobs again, and a little guy with a carousel, and he advertised, and I turned up, and I was like completely, utterly blagged it.
Right. What do you put in your
Never
CV? Know it all, mate.
Because I did.
Yeah.
But then going and working in a bakery factory was a real grounder. I'd realised that I was just a 21-year-old dick.
Yeah.
So it was printing Peppy jeans, officially.
Right.
Officially.
Peppy jeans.
It was an overspill printer for small runs for another factory that was doing Peppy jeans.
Yeah.
And the Peppy jeans was huge. Think Frankie Goes to style. But it was white ink on a black shirt, massive text, full width, impact, extended,
Peppy
condensed
jeans.
and extended.
I thought you said jeans. Was that a
Peppy
brand?
jeans.
Was that a brand?
Yeah, you never heard of Pepe?
Never heard of that.
P-E-P-E, Pepe.
I've heard of Peppa Pig.
Okay.
Not Peppy jeans.
I officially got old. Okay. So...
Comment below if you know what he's talking about.
I think they still sponsor an F1 team. I bet they still sponsor an F1 team.
Bloody no,
I bet they do, yeah. They were really big at the time, and they were getting printed locally. And the overspill went to this guy, who was a graphics printer first, but had bought a carousel. And he comes in, he says, right, okay, Tony, this is what we're printing. So, you told me you know everything. Off you go. Complete blag. It'd been about three years since I'd last picked up a squeegee, and I did a manual sample once for the guy I was working with on the presses.
Mm.
So I picked the squeegee up, and I'm like, which way around is it? Is it the wood bit you hold, or is it the rubber bit you hold? No, it's the wood bit. Beep, beep. So,
Can you hear it?
yeah.
There's a lot of
Pulled the
construction, so if it's a bit noisy, sorry.
I can only hear that bit. Pulled the squeegee, made an absolute arse of it, but I'm blagging my knob off. I'm like, yeah. Totally got this. Took a couple of pulls, and off I went. I got the job from that one pull, and had a really, really good sort of 3 years at this place where I learnt more in the first week than I'd ever learnt about screen printing working on a press. For instance, I'd never made my own screens.
Right.
I used a photographic camera to make the films.
Right, bloody hell.
Going back, this is before computers.
Yeah.
So everything was done sort of by hand, and it just it blew my mind, the stuff that we could do.
Mm.
And that's really where I started learning. Until then, I'd just basically pressed stop, go, flash time. That's all I'd really pressed.
Right.
Up until then, physically drawing the artwork out of Letraset. You won't even know what Letraset is.
Letraset. No.
Letraset. This is transfer type. If you wanted to
Is it
say...
like those metal things where you fill in the gaps?
This is tracing paper
Yeah.
with printed letters on. And each page is a font.
All right.
So if you want to spell Danny, you've got to go get a capital D, rub the back of it for the
I
transfer,
remember that stuff, yeah.
then get the A,
Yeah,
and get
rub
the
it on.
spacing right and everything, and trying to do arc letters like that was a nightmare.
Jeez,
So
that's
then
a
you
real
did that.
craft.
Yeah, so then when you did that onto white paper, you then went and made a positive film in the darkroom using the camera.
Right.
So the camera was an overhead camera, and this is where you scaled things or made things the same
Yeah.
size. You then exposed it onto bromide, so a proper exposure of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The bromide would then get held against some transparent paper that would go into the chemicals like a darkroom, like a
Yeah, like a real dark room.
things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that was just to get, a shirt.
Okay, Al.
So did that for a bit, and the guy who was doing the Peppy, the customer who was supplying the Peppy jeans, he approached me. He said, "Look, I've got another place with 5 presses, and they're doing the majority of the work. You're only doing the sort of like, the 20s and 30s that
Short
we
runs.
forget or are short or whatever. Just, how about coming and doing this?" And that were it. I got back into screen printing again with a big place with 5 presses, 3 floors, constantly knocking work out 24/7, and I was just a printer. But the print manager at the time, guy from down London, from down south, so he'd come from Things. Do you remember Things? Things down in London, still going. He was a big shot, so he came all the way up here to show us Northerners how to go on. Constantly ribbed him for being such a cockney.
Bloody some days.
Yeah, and he was crap. He was absolutely rubbish at his job. And so I would just quietly keep things running. And eventually the boss came to me and went, "You run this place, don't you?" No, I'm just a printer. Leave me alone. I'll just give me a job and I'll print it. So I've asked around. You keep everything running. Nope, I don't. I'm just a printer. I like this machine. I was running an old Delco oval, and the Delco oval, or precision oval. No, a Delco oval, jumbo. So oversized with turnover pallets.
Turnover pallets.
So
you could print front and back?
Yeah, it came with I say carousel, but I don't mean carousel screen printer.
No.
So a little motor-powered driven belt in an oval shape.
Yeah.
And you would take the metal pallet, which was shaped like a T.
Yeah.
And you would have 3 or 4 girls loading these metal pallets. And they would go around like this and go around like this.
Yeah.
And they'd keep going round on the loading station while you loaded your T-shirts onto them. They were sticky.
All right.
Then you would take that whole assembly, which had a universal ball joint on the back, you would slot it into the press. We take this metal former that we've just put a T-shirt onto. It's got a long extended universal ball joint at the back.
That's it.
That clips into the press. Magnets hold it down. And then at the other side of the oval, so you load at this side.
Yeah.
And the other side of the oval, I've got a girl who just picks the front up, flips it, and pushes it back down again.
Oh, so when you're pushing it down, you're almost pushing it onto like a stencil of the design.
You're taking the shirt that's basically now on a metal former, and you're plugging it into the back, and then like going down like that.
Yeah.
Then at the other side, so the 4 screens print the front.
Yeah.
They weren't flash dryers; they were forced air dryers.
All right, that's cool.
Hot air fans. So
Yeah.
hot air fans then dried it. Then round the other side, one of the girls lifted the front of the shirt up on a former, spun the whole thing and put it back down again so that now I can print the back at the same time.
Oh, that's pretty cool, that.
Yeah. So
That's quite a cool idea.
I ran one of those. Obviously, it was a horrible press to run. It was made by a Delco. I don't even care. Don't even care.
Wow. I bet bought a Delco once. Who was it? It was...
If you bought an Adelco, we couldn't be friends.
It was... I'm pretty sure Calder. I'm pretty sure they were selling one at one point, and I had a look at... I didn't have it. I saw it on the internet, and I thought I was going to message him about it, but...
Calder screen print.
That was it.
I mean, Adelco dryers are still around, and they're probably better known for dryers now than pressers. They're making the Cyclone. I worked on that in Ireland.
It was blue and yellow. So it was old.
Blue and yellow.
It looked old.
Adelco, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so I soon became by default print manager because they came in one day. I got dragged into office. Right, okay. Mike's gone. Okay, what's wrong with him? We fired him. Oh.
You're in charge now.
Why? Because you can do his job, and you've been doing his job for the last 6 months. Has he got big clogs on?
Yeah. Tony says, have you got big clogs on? Have you got big clogs on? Oh, you won't be able to hear me, will you? Stay up and then go do some work.
Hi.
Hi, you came up
What?
You came up them stairs like an elephant with clogs on.
How rude. I was trying to tiptoe and be quiet.
Fuck me, is that tiptoeing?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, you
got
got away with it.
pop-ups
No, you got away with it. Nobody even heard you. It's
That's
fine.
all right. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Right, I'm going to go now. I've got a festive sandwich from Aldi to eat.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Jade. Bye. You were right.
Sorry, can't help yourself.
So, yeah. God, we've gone into the history of Tony, but
I enjoyed it. I didn't realise that. I like the fact that you almost... Can you imagine if you'd not found your way back into the print world? Like you could
I was determined never to, and I did 7 years working at that old mill, and that's where I bought my first NHM, and that's where I learnt more man management skills rather than anything. I'm like 25 years old, and I'm manager of all these people. I'm like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
It seemed to be by default, and I just sort of fell into it. But it worked really well. And it certainly put me in good stead for what I did later on.
Well, yeah. I mean, coming to today, you can't buy that experience. Well, you can. You can buy Tony to consult you for a day.
Yes, you can.
But like,
Just put your credit card details in here.
and I thought bye for an hour.
So as a bingo, off on a tangent, somebody texted me yesterday on Instagram in Spanish about a piece that I'm pretty safe they won't watch this. I'd been doing a flip chart drawing on teaching some people, and the guy texted me, this is really good information, can you please share it with me? But he'd written it in Spanish, so I'd have to do some translating and stuff, and I got back, and I would have been pissed off with that. So I went, yeah, sure, just put your just give me your credit card details and we'll go further. He replied to me in perfect English.
Yeah, I learned English, has he?
Straight away, perfect English, went, yeah, I currently run a screen print department with 80 people and 5 pressers with only about a limited number of experience. So for sure, let me know where to put the credit card details on. Let's proceed from there. Well, teach me for being a clever little bastard.
I was going to say, having a bit of an attitude, paid off that time. Which
I did have an attitude.
Actually, brings me on to one of my bullet points that I haven't written down. So I want to ask you an opinion. Now, I had a bit of an attitude yesterday. So we used to have a customer who used to get shirts off us, and last year I just happened to notice he'd got some new shirts done, and I thought, hang on, I didn't do them. So I asked him.
Cheated on you, basically.
Cheated on me. So I asked him. I said, in the politest possible way, and in the sincerest possible way, I just wanted to know. I've seen you've got some new shirts. Is it something I've done wrong? Were the last shirts not up to standard? Purely, can I do better next time? Not saying come back.
Did you use the line? It's not you, it's me. I'll change.
Yeah, which wasn't enough. Why does everybody keep leaving me? Anyway, so I says, all right, don't worry about it. Basically, it'd gone to someone else because we're a bit cheaper. So anyway, I know this person happens to be, for whatever reason, not printing anymore. And guess who come running back?
But you weren't smug at all, though, were you?
No, well, I didn't smugly reply, sorry, mate, fully booked, full stop. Now, was that very petty?
You really wanted to.
No, I did. That's exactly what I did. I put that word for word. Yeah.
Oh, did you? You knob.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I wanted to know. Was that a bit much of me? Was that a bit... Was I a bit of a tart?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what? I just take it so personal.
Would I have done the same? I have been known to cut my nails off to smite my face, so yeah.
A good businessman would not even batted an eyelid.
We spoke about I think we spoke about, it's been that long now, the guy who didn't pay me. I've only had one guy not pay me.
You don't ring a bell? Not sure if we have.
Over in Stockport, and I've got no problem naming and shaming him at all.
Well, if you have paid you.
Because he started back up again, and he rang me after lots and lots of, horrible, nasty stuff, and that I wanted to say about him and did say about him online. And he rang me and basically said, look, I ain't got any money, you're not getting paid, but am I all right to use you again in the future? And, obviously I'll pay up front and you can put a premium on to try and get some money back. And that's the standard business practice.
Right.
That is a standard business. Right, this guy has gone bust, and he started again with every single part of his business is the same except his letterhead.
Yeah.
There's only his letterhead changed. They're called Phoenix companies. I hate them with a passion. I think that everything is bad in the world. But he started again, and he's, I was such a small cog in his entire thing. He'll have touched the shirt suppliers, BTC, Pyramid, Cis, Colenso. They'll have all got touched by him. Now, to continue trading, he has to. Now he's got the same machinery, different name, but he's got to buy ink from somewhere.
Mm.
So the people he's just screwed.
They're not going to want to deal with it.
10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. They have to deal with him.
They do?
Because
What, legally
yes,
or something?
No, because otherwise they'll never get their money back.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the business side of it. So the business side of it says, okay, you've screwed us. You owe us 10 grand. What we're going to do is anything you order, you need to pay for on credit card so we don't get into debt again.
Yeah.
And there will be a 10%. Your price just went up by 10%.
Yeah.
That 10% is to pay back that money you didn't give us before. I know, it's logical, isn't it?
It makes sense.
There's no human interaction to that whatsoever. That is a pure, logical,
rational
business transaction.
decision.
Rational. I couldn't do it.
I'm irrational.
If he rang me and asked me to go and consult for him, knowing full well that he'd pay up front on credit card and I could stick 10% on to pay for whatever he hadn't paid me, I could probably regain a business relationship with him and maybe it might take me a couple of years, but get my money back.
Yeah.
No, I'm far too petty for that.
Snap, I am.
I'm just not grown up enough. I just couldn't do it.
No.
And I was speaking to, who was I speaking to? Our mate Dave Roper at Screen Print World, and he said he'd rang him and asked him if he'd consult for him.
Right.
And Dave bless him went, well, no, but £20 will do it.
No, it won't. Burnt that fish too.
Yeah. So
everybody got singed.
Fuck them.
So is there a story to learn from there? Don't screw people over. I mean, I guess it's a difficult one anyway. Well, it's not that difficult.
Chasing invoice is better. My lesson was it cost me to learn to keep control of my invoice.
Your lesson is what we discussed last week. Just get paid up front.
Yeah, it's difficult with me.
It is as a consultant, I guess.
We'll throw Dave under the bus again. When I first started, I asked Dave his opinion because he used to do consulting before. He was a sales guy. Funnily enough, he was a sales guy. Here's a tenuous link for you.
Go on then.
So the factory that I went to with the 5 presses,
yeah,
they bought American Graffiti, I think it was called, which was on the south coast, and with it came some sales guys, and Dave Roper was one of those sales guys.
Oh wow, interesting.
And then when he left there, he went to go do his own thing with M&R.
Oh,
but he used to print and sell. I think he used to print. He used to print at maybe American Graffiti.
God.
Well, I'll have to fact check now. I might have 3 things mixed up there, but
maybe that's a nice little segment we could introduce. We could get the backstories of
what did you
the
used
buyers
to do?
and shops.
What did
you work in a
during the
baking
war?
factory? It's a good idea, isn't it? Not dwell on it for a whole episode, but we could do a little segment every now and again.
Like we've done so far, but yeah. But yeah, so I asked him and he said 2 golden nuggets of advice.
This is
It don't look clean. It looks like you've got it out at the river.
It does look like this, but it's not. It's just water with a hydration tablet in.
So he said 2 bits of advice. That's all I'll give you. You know what you're doing technically, but never go lower than a travel lodge and always get paid up front.
Sounded nice.
And the reasoning behind it was, he said, look, you're giving them information. You're not giving them goods. And if they don't pay you, you can't take it away.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. If I give someone goods and they don't pay me, I've got legal right to those goods, so I can take them away.
Yeah.
But you're giving them skills and you can't take it out of them once you give it. And it was really good advice.
Yeah,
so as much as we run Dave down. Cheers, Dave.
I have never run Dave down.
Excuse me, curable reducer episode.
Don't watch that one, Dave. I've sung plenty of praises about his dryer, that his screen dryer. It's a basic level. I'm not saying it's quite a Vastex, but you know what I'm saying.
You've redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
Not quite a Vastex that I'd like to get for free, you should have said there.
My saying is nobody.
So now you have to
go on.
Now you have to be nice to John Potter because he sells the Vastex. So if you have to be nice to him, and then he'll get you the Vastex that you can put on just behind you there, so that everybody can see it. It's like free advertising.
Flipping Sweet Pinko, sponsored by.
There you go.
Space. I've always said, and I can't. Oh, I've got to get this right. Nobody is above criticism and below praise. And basically, you just got to.
Is that a tattoo you've got?
Profound, that, isn't it? I'm a very profound person deep down.
Yeah.
So
Your Jay's laughing at you, isn't she?
Just try to be quiet.
I swear, God, if you put Crocs on an elephant, that's exactly what it'll sound like.
It's a very loud shop. The floor's just wood on beams, so it's super loud.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly look at my notes. So something else I want to bring up. I had an idea. Are you happy that we've concluded our appraisal of Dave's advice?
Yeah.
So I've got an idea. Now, this is one of those very risky moments where I come up with an idea that I've not put too much thought into, and it's either really good. I mean, if you throw enough shit, one day it'll stick. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, there you go.
I had this
go
idea.
for it.
So let's just you're a water-based printer.
Yeah.
Have you seen the water repellent spray you get for like shoes and coats and stuff like that? And they even have a version
like
that you wax
spray.
onto cars. What about spraying it onto your screen on the top? You know where your inks it
to stop pickup.
To stop? No, not on the underside. So I'm thinking on the. Well, you could do that. I've seen that. I've seen people use
Silicon spray.
silicon sprays. It's funny.
I use silicon spray.
But
I've been known to use silicon spray.
I was thinking more along the lines to solve the problem of, so Aquaflex in particular, sort of absorbs into the emulsion a little bit. You get like that. You get that layer, don't you? It absorbs some of the hydration.
Only a little bit, yeah.
Enough to annoy me. Now you could just use tape, but I thought, what if you just put a layer of water repellent? Obviously, you'd have to block out the image first.
Yeah, you'd have to block out
And
the
then
image,
just-
otherwise
so
you
all
won't push any water through
Yeah,
the
because you have an area of the screen where you have your ink sat, and you're moving it, obviously. But this is probably more of a problem on a manual, because if you're constantly moving it,
No. There's a massive problem on automatic. So you have the ability to not move your squeegee in exactly the same place every time, so you can go back
but
and
what
pick
about
up
the
some
sides?
crops. So, and you can do that as well.
On an auto? Oh, yeah, so I have that ability.
You can.
An auto.
I can't. On the sides, I get build up, so I have winged flood bars that bring it into the centre.
Yeah.
So my flood bars are shaped to, as they come forward, it pulls the ink into the centre.
Right.
So the flood bars, you're looking like strange.
No,
So
I'm with you.
Yeah. And then at the front, so I've got a squeegee and a flood bar rather than just a squeegee.
Yeah.
It's constantly going like that. So when it gets to the front, it stops there, and then we print, and we go like that.
Yeah.
And we're constantly going like that. Well, at the front, I've got this little 4-inch gap here.
Yeah.
Where the ink always sits, so I get build up there.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to poo-poo your idea.
Not a bad
I
idea.
think it's actually quite clever, and I'm going to try it.
Well, I've ordered a spray to see what happens, because I always find.
Send me the link at what the spray is, and I'll try it on an auto.
I'm going to try it. Oh, so maybe not so bad. I also had another idea. Top tip.
Throw enough shit. Stop throwing shit now. You got to win.
Got to win.
One
So I'm
stuck.
going to go downhill.
One stuck.
No, I'm pretty confident with this one as well. This is more for the
All right, go
manual
on then.
printers.
Go on.
So, well, the manual printers who want to print water-based or are already printing water-based. And we talked about the vicious cycle. Once you get on that spiral, should I say, that spiral.
Spiral, yeah.
That
Spiral of death.
That spiral on a manual can start very quickly before you've even started production, registering screens. So here's an idea. And I've been trying this for the past few days. Just register with plastisol. Just have a couple of buckets of either white and then have like a vibrant green or a vibrant blue. And then all you're doing is you're registering, get your base down, and then register each colour one at a time to the base. Take as much time as you need, get it bang on, and then load your ink with water base. You've got your pots are going to last you forever because it's all going straight back in the bucket. And it just
It's more cleaning.
It's more.
It's more cleaning.
Well, I tried.
That's the only thing.
I tried other day, so I didn't even bother ragging it down. So I put white plastisol into my base, got it where I needed it, registered all my colours, and then I just scraped the plastisol out, I didn't even like spray it and then rag it down. I just chucked my waterbased in, and it printed fine. It's only like a surface residue. Do you know what I mean? So, and obviously obviously when you print, there's none left in mesh anyway, so you're not really getting any contamination.
No, we used to do this when we were printing like Disney characters and stuff, all water based. But we 80% of the time we wouldn't be base printing; we'd be onto white or natural garments. So it might be a 10-colour job of Mickey and Donald, but there's fucking shitloads of colours in there, and it's always got a black key line. The reason it's called key line because it holds everything together.
Yeah.
So that's what we would use to set up with.
Right.
So obviously printing that with water-based ink, by the time you set 10 up using the old T-bars and wrenches and precision adjustment tool, which is a hammer. I must not do that again on camera. Mental note to self. Once you've finished all that, the black's dried into death. So we used to use black plastisol and print the black plastisol first. That gave us lots and lots of time. We could take 4 hours to set up. So yeah, absolutely. It does work. I would recommend washing it a little bit more than not ragging it out. I'd probably recommend ragging it out, just so you don't get any streaks of crap stuck in the mesh as you're printing later on in life. Because if a small... Did you fall down steps?
No, I think she's dragging the stool across the floor or something. Yeah, we can hear you. What a train wreck. I knew this was going to be an awkward episode.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. It's fine. I don't think we've even covered all about printing, but never mind that. Yeah. Definitely it's a good idea. I have found on an auto, I probably get 30 minutes out of Aquaflex White that properly flooded, sat before it dries in. So for me, on an auto, probably wouldn't do it.
No.
I don't know how long it takes you to set up. So
it can be a long process. It can be hours.
You told me you were like nearly all weekend once to set.
Yeah, well, there was one particular job that took me fucking 2 days.
Just to line up, yeah.
That might have been part
at that point. If I did that, I'd be opening the paper and looking at bacon factory jobs.
I know. Well, there's times like that where you think my life could be so much easier. But
what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, but it was a problem and I had to solve it. And
so I actually, my notes.
Oh, you've got some notes. Well, I've exhausted mine, so.
Oh, my notes were all resolved around a question you never asked me.
Go on. How's your week been? Well, let's start with this. Where are you? And how's your week been?
That's why I've not got to my notes, because you've not asked me. But that's normal for this. I am in...
You got me carried away getting on with deep conversation, that's why. And by the time we've done that, we're
I threw you a right curveball right at the beginning, didn't I? Proper curveball. What made you happy? You weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
And then why you doing it?
It took too much brain power to come up with an answer, that's why.
So, I am in Kansas, in America, which is a strange town. It's split right down the middle between Kansas and... I'm in Kansas City, which is half Missouri, half Kansas. Mm-hmm. Really strange. It's like a river or a road or something that splits them both.
Right.
And I am here on... I think we covered it last week, actually, because I do listen to these back.
I do, to be fair.
Now I do.
Not an ego mania, just to check it.
No, I actually started training again, so I'm listening to them when I'm running, and that's it's such a good way to pass the time. Even though it's me and I've heard it before, I still actually quite like to listen to it as a refresher.
Yeah, it's good.
And I covered of what I was going to do this week and whether it was a problem job or not. And it was a poison chalice, but it's nowhere near as bad as I expected it to be, but it's only fucking Wednesday. So this is... I've made a statement, and I've made the statement about 4 or 5 times in publication on here to other people, that the inks the inks we've got plastisol and we've got waterbased.
Yeah.
And water-based is becoming like plastisol and plastisol is becoming like water-based. And eventually, whether it takes 10 years, 20 or 5, I don't know. But eventually, we're just going to have ink.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to prefix it with solvent-based or water-based. It will just be printing ink.
Yeah.
This printing ink, you will have the option to either clean it up with water or clean it up with solvent. Both work.
Right.
So we'll just have ink. The main properties of this ink will be its opacity, so brightness, stretchability and flexibility,
Yeah.
and how much it hurts the turtles and the dolphins.
Yeah.
They're still important.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Bingo.
Take a shot.
So the ink companies are spending a lot of money. The investment into high solid acrylics water-based has been huge and has been very successful.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's the same company because there's pretty much a monopoly on ink now at the minute. And they are looking at the other side and going, okay, can we make the plastisol more dolphin and turtle friendly?
Yeah.
And it all comes again from the big 3 sports manufacturers doing an RSL, which is a restricted substance list.
Yeah.
So if they put PVC onto their RSL, then we have a problem in that if you want to print for one of these companies, I'm currently printing for Adidas here, and we've done Under Armour, we've done Reebok, and Nike especially.
Yeah.
They have a restricted substance list. If they put PVC on their restricted substance list, we can't use plastisol at all. Done. It's just got PVC in it. So the guys that make the plastisol ink have gone, right, okay, well, I'll take the PVC out. Yeah. First we took the lead out, then we took the phthalates out. I still want to see a phthalate. What the fuck is a phthalate? I've never heard of it, never seen one. I want someone to prove to me that they are
You asked me
actually
this
real.
week and I looked it up and I forgot.
Are they actually real? Is it a little green thing like a ball like that with a little face like a pea? And go, I'm a phthalate.
It served a specific purpose, I think. I might be wrong, but I'm sure it's something to do with flexibility. I might be wrong. Or stretchability.
Yeah, I'm not a chemist. Stretch, yeah, maybe. So now PVC is the bad guy. So there's a range of inks now taking the PVC out. So I'm over here at this shop, brand spanking new. It's great to have everything absolutely clean. Somebody's gone and they've spent $1 million. So it's almost like me and you, our print shop, what would you have? And it's like, this is a really good, everything's nice and clean, everything's organised.
I've seen some
everything's been done
pictures.
properly. They actually got a consultant in to ask, what should we have? And somebody's told them the proper stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got told that this new ink without PVC but plastisol,
yeah, you mentioned
is a bit of a bitch to use. Now, looking back at last week's episodes, I can still remember in my head, I said, before I get here, I don't know if the ink is a bitch to use, which is why I didn't want to name the brand. Whether the ink's a bitch to use or whether it's the mesh count, squeegee selection, artwork prep, printing technique, all these myriad of little things that can make a small change. And until I got here, I didn't know. But I strongly suspected the ink was a bitch.
Well, I know because you're about to name the brand.
I'm 2 days in, and the ink is not the number one problem.
All right, yeah. It's more learning how to use it.
Yeah, there's a myriad of education. There's a huge, big block of education that's missing, and that's not. It's not been lost or forgotten. It wasn't there in the first place. So we've gone right back to basics, which is why you see some of my pictures with the flip charts. We go right back to the theory of printing, pushing the ink through the holes, mesh selection, blade selection. There were no 90s in the building, and they're doing multicolour plastisol jobs. So the only rule I have is top colours on 90s or 230s as they are over here, because they're still counting like it's 1970s.
So are they doing anything on 60s or 70s? Like top colours?
43s.
Top colours 40s? Sure, no.
Yeah.
That must have been a bit rough.
So that then, number one, it's rough. Number two, it's sticky. Number three, it doesn't dry. Number four, it looks like shit when you put hours of work into it. And everybody says it's the ink. The ink's crap. The ink must be crap.
Yeah.
The ink is different. It requires a slightly different skill set. Well, no. It requires a higher level of understanding of how to print. We've said before, right, okay, difference between plastisol and water-based. Pretty much plastisol, you can get away with anything. The window that you need to operate in and use your skill is quite large.
Yeah.
If you get something wrong, it's quite forgiving.
Yeah.
Whereas water-based, that skill level, that understanding of all the different aspects is smaller. You can't fuck up as much.
No.
And this ink is probably
Narrowed it a bit
slightly
more.
underneath water-based.
Right.
Not much. It's about the same as water-based. But because it's sold and marketed as plastisol, a lot of users think that it's just plastisol. The flash temperature is astronomical. So as a guide, the normal flash temperature for plastisol to gel is between 90 and 120 C.
Yeah.
This one doesn't gel till 160.
That's almost not far off curing temperature for normal.
It's 4 seconds at 120 to gel it, and a minute at 160 to cure it.
So isn't that a little bit ironic that these big brands are putting pressure on certain ingredients, if you want to call it, to get rid of PVC to make it more dolphin friendly, but then you've got to,
But they're using more energy.
use a ton of oil to cure the buggers. Bit ironic.
But, well, no, their marketing strategy is the opposite of that. Their marketing strategy says it goes through the dryer at only 60 seconds at 160, whereas the recommended temperature for Aquaflex is 2 to 2.5 minutes at 160.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're using more energy per piece.
Oh, so they're saying it has to get to an higher temperature, but it don't have to dwell.
But for not as much time, yes. So therefore, you use less energy, and you don't need to buy a big, long 85-metre dryer.
All right.
So it's all marketing, but they are correct. The statements are correct. It's just how you put a spin on them.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't go out and measure it, could you?
And
Well, you could if you wanted to, but...
no. So the initial... I sort of suspected this before I got here, so I ordered some 90s and some new rubber blade because they'd only got the softs that came with the press, which is standard.
Yeah.
So initially, first day was like, oh dear.
Oh, God.
What are we going to do here? Second day, because it's only Wednesday, so I'm only on my third day. Second day, really a lot more encouraging. When I teach people, I was over in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was teaching people in Belgium, probably a similar sort of skill level as these guys here.
Yeah.
But the people in Belgium were transfixed with what I told them.
Right.
I had their full attention, and they asked me probing questions about what I just told them. They asked me to break it down even simpler. I had full engagement.
Very receptive.
Here I'm getting no engagement at all. I'm getting blank faces, and I'm like, oh God, this is going to be really difficult if I can't get through to the people that are operating.
Is that
exactly what they need
is
to
that
be doing?
blank faces because you're talking French to them, pretty much, or is that blank faces because they just don't give a shit?
Yorkshire.
Yeah, true.
I do have to slow down, and I have to pronounce my T's correctly. But I can't say Sithy.
No.
I'll Sithy. So I do slow down, but no, I think it's because where I am, I think it's still legal to marry your sister.
Fucking hell, hang up the don't watch now.
You have to cut that bit out. You have to cut that bit out.
Oh, bleeding hell. God.
So, we'll start again.
Right, compose yourself.
I think it's just because where I am, there's a limited employment. Stop it.
Sorry,
Start again. Let me just drink my own urine, I'll be fine. So I think it's because where I...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I think it's basic because where I am, there's a very limited pool of employment. So, you're limited to who you can choose to put on the press, and you've got to take someone who's got no experience and try and train them up. So that's probably part of the reason. But, that's why I'm here, to try and train them up. So it's not a lost cause yet. I'm quietly confident if we make a few changes. They got a little bit of, I won't call it bad advice, but made a couple of bad decisions with mesh counts.
All right.
They went for really open mesh counts. So 32s and 43s
Really?
were, out of 200 screens, 80 were 32s and 120 were 43s.
Was it printing glitter flake?
No, we're printing high quality sportswear.
So, I mean, this place, I've seen pictures. They've got some seriously good gear. Really kicked out. So have they
And that's only 3 of the presses. They're going to get another 3.
So have they just? I mean, it's obviously a new business. Is this bloke just thought, right, let's just chuck a shitload of money into this and then work out what to use
it follows the pattern I've said on here 6 times now.
Skill dilution.
What's the pattern with? No. Stop playing bingo.
Sure.
It's the buyer.
Right.
So the buyer that's supplying the work.
All right, I'm getting you now.
I told the story about the guys in Leicester. The buyer's supplying the work to 30 presses, gets pissed off with the supply that he's getting, so says, fuck you, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Opens a press, gets the skill in, starts to produce his own, cutting out the middleman, basically. It's standard business practice. Yeah. Cut out the middleman. If you're buying loads of transfers, you're spending £500,000 a year on transfers, buy a transfer machine, do it yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Why the hell not? And that's what they're doing. They're spending millions of dollars on putting work out to people, and then going, I just bring the work in house and I can control it all myself. So I bought embroidery machines. Yeah. So I bought printing machines, and we're ready to go. We've got the customers. Customers are nailed. Don't have to look for sales. Yeah. I've got too much work, and they're all high quality. They're all sports brands. So this is the following on of the guy with enough money and foresight to see that there's some legs in this, building a plant and knowing that he's not going to get a return on his money instantly, but over the long run, he's going to stop spending money and giving it to other people and try and make all the profit himself. Yeah. So I like the idea. The plan works, but we can't. I think there's a misconception, maybe in the entire bloody world, that screen printing is like printing on a desktop printer.
Oh no, that bugs me. That
printing t-shirts. Maybe DTG's got something to do with this, because if you do a little bit of research, you think t-shirt printing, and up pops the Amazon site with 25 comments, and you see the whole thing where they barcode scan, and then the design pops up, prints itself, and spits it out to DPD, who leave it for a week because they're busy. But sorry, I will for you with that, just in case. No. So the conception is, well, I get t-shirts printed. That must be how they do it. Yeah. So I'll buy a printing machine, a screen print machine, and this guy's bought a DTF, and 12 embroidery machines and 3 screen print presses. The DTF is doing exactly what he thought it would do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doesn't matter whether it's which football team it is. Doesn't matter anything about it. He can put the back neck label in, little sleeve, bottom hem, and it spits them out all day long. There is no prep. He doesn't have to buy any other machines to go with it other than a heat press. Yeah. The DTF machine is faster than one heat press. It's actually feeding about 4 heat presses here.
Right, bloody hell. It's not bad, is it?
So no, because the little logos. Yeah. So, a metre of those, it's going to take you like half a day to put those on, and it prints it in about 20 minutes. Yeah. All ready to go. All ready, no weeding. Just cut them up into pieces. Just a guillotine. Yeah. Done. Yeah. Ready to go.
Got its advantages.
So that has done exactly what he probably preconceived it to do. Yeah. I buy a machine to print the little transfers that go anywhere. Yeah, perfect. And it does it. Nobody goes near it. The guys who sell these machines say they must be attended most of the time. This one's not even attended. They just set it going. It falls into a bin. It falls into a bin, and every now and again somebody comes and picks them out of the bin and guillotines them down. And I think some people conceive T-shirt printing to be like
Yeah,
that.
they do, definitely.
And they don't think about, the number one, the artwork, and then the screens, and then the setup, and then the fucking space. You need at least 3,000 square foot to make a proper one press and a dryer. And I think the reality sometimes bites in that, shit, I've got a guy, he knows what he's doing. He doesn't speak very good English, but, he don't need to. But he's got... We might have to cut this, but...
Oh, not another.
I'll have to. I can't do it. He's not got a leader's personality.
All right.
So he's got the skills for a skilled printer, but he's not got the leader's personality. He's got the personality of a dead dog. That's what I'm going to say.
I was about to
So that's
say-
the bit you'll have to cut.
I was about to say, well, me neither, to be fair. And then you had to tag that on it, didn't you? And I thought I ruined this one.
Some people are natural
Yeah,
directors and
definitely.
leaders. Like I said to you, when I went to Jam Factory, it were called. When I went to that big press place, 5 presses, one of the things that made me stand out is I had the ability that I didn't know I had to gently direct people in the right place and put people in the right place and have them doing the right job.
Yeah.
And it comes from having kids, basically.
Right.
When you've got a 2-year-old who does not want to put pants on and won't eat peas, you've got to find a way to make them put pants on and eat peas. It's as simple as that. And that's exactly what man management is. It's exactly the same, dealing with toddlers.
Yeah, I guess.
Where you're officially not allowed to hit and leave a mark.
Wow. This is
So,
dangerous
yeah,
episode.
it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, that's basically it in a nutshell. After 2 days, I've still got another 3-4 days here. So, we'll see how we get on when the new mesh arrives. I've already changed the blades. I've already found 690s to be able to put them onto press and show them, rather than me, big fat northerner with a big nose, coming over to America and saying, you've got to do it like this, and then fucking off on a plane again. We've got... Which bit?
You've watched that episode.
Then, basically, they've got to see it happen. Don't believe what I say.
No, sometimes you do.
You've run this for 2 or 3 weeks now with these 110s, these 43 meshes. Let me change them to 90s,
And
to
just see
30s.
the results.
And I won't even say anything. I'll just now do exactly the same job, but do it with this mesh count. Because so far I've done it with the blades. The blade... Oh, God, my aircon's come on. I don't think you can hear it. So far they only had one blade, which was giving them too much ink. There's too much ink, required too much heat. There's too much heat, made all sorts of problems. So, we were on a spiral in plastisol, which still happens. And I've already shown them what will happen when we change a blade. It took like 20 seconds to change a blade and put some new rubber in. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Now I need to do the opposite. I need to do something to give it more ink.
Yeah.
And we're getting used to assessing a problem in 2 camps. Any problem in printing sits in 2 camps. Too much ink, not enough ink. Dead simple. That's how we describe any problem on press. You have to say, oh, it looks shit. No, I've either got too much ink or not enough ink. Which one is
Yeah, I
it?
guess so.
Oh, well, I've got too much. So once you know you've got too much ink, then you've got the 5 hills that we say to reduce the amount of ink using the speed, the pressure, the blade, the angle, and the mesh. So once we know what the problem is, we look back, we've got 5 different solutions, which one's going to work, and we do it that way. So that's basically what I'm teaching these people, is print problem solving.
Yeah.
First of all, from that comes the assessment. Right, what's wrong with it? Well, it looks shit. No, you're not allowed to say it looks shit. It's either too much ink or not enough ink. Well, it's patchy. Okay, we're on a wheel. So it's patchy. What do we say then? Which camp would that fall in? Too much ink or not enough ink? Not enough. Right. So let's go back to our 5. Which one are we going to pick?
Yeah.
Which is the easiest, quickest one to pick? Angle. There we go. Let's try the angle. Move the angle 5 degrees. Bang, and it works straight away. We're like, you can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm quietly confident that what I thought before I got here was going to be a nightmare is actually going to be
Not so bad.
a nightmare in Kansas.
So do you reckon by the time you leave that shop, you'll be leaving them with the same ink and they won't be reordering normal plastisol? Or do you think they'll be happy to
100% they
work with
can't.
it?
100% they can't. They can't use it because Adidas won't let them use
Right,
it.
so we've got to...
So it's either this or water-based. And
Well, there's a question then. Why have they not just
I'll have
picked
to be
water-based?
really careful. We've been doing this too long because that's exactly what I was going to tell you. So that's the question I asked him straight away. Obviously, I work with these big brands around the world, and they all, I'll go 90% of them use
Yeah, they do.
Aquaflex.
Yeah.
That's what it was used for. It was what it was invented for. It fits the hole perfectly. It's low cure, low bleed, stretchable, opaque. All right, it's got its own issues, but it does solve that
It
problem.
does.
So I said to him, why are you using this ink? Well, just because, Adidas say I can't use anything else other than, nothing with any PVCs in.
God,
Why don't you use water? But my first question to him, why don't you use water-based?
that's the answer to this.
And the answer was, we don't want to have to catalyse the ink and throw it away at the end of the day.
All right, that's not what I expected. Right, well, that's fair enough, because you do get... This was part of my argument. There's a lot of waste. Way more waste.
Yeah, but you don't catalyse it anymore. That's going back 20 years.
Oh. Well, yeah, I don't do it anyway. I don't have shelves with different colours on.
But you don't have to catalyse the ink. Back in the day, you used to have to put cross-linker in.
Oh, right.
Back in the early days, before
catalyst, not catalogue. Right, now I'm with you.
No, catalyst. Yeah, it's put a catalyst in, which gives you a shelf life of 8 years.
No, you don't have to do that now.
So, no, but the preconception was that that's water-based. Now, he's right. Late 80s, early 90s, all the AJ stuff from Ceracol, if you didn't put catalyzer in it, you could put enough catalyst in it, catalyzer? You could put enough chemical in it so that it would dry in the air, if need be. But it would also dry in the screen and cure in the screen, so therefore you had to throw it away after 8 hours. Even the crosslinker now that you can use for Magnus stuff, you can drop that in to lower the cure temperature all the way down to 120, but you affect the shelf life of the ink.
So basically, they've dropped a bollock, but the ball's deep, so it's tough shit. Just got to deal with it and work it out.
A little bit of that, but also the story was the guy selling the stuff, giving it to a printer, and him producing it, and everybody being happy.
Yeah.
So before he did his own research, before he did his own building, he asked the guy who was already printing, what ink do you use? And he used this. So that was part of the decision.
Right.
The stuff I've been buying has been printed with this ink. So I don't want to change to water-based now. I mean, what happens if it's better? And the customer says to me, why weren't we using this long ago? So I'm going to stick to the same ink on the same machines using the same process. So there's some logic in it in the background.
Yeah, sometimes you stick
They're
to what
using
you know,
the
don't you?
same... And it's not changing. You don't want to go back to the big sports brand company and say, right, okay, we're now doing things differently. It doesn't cost us as much. You get a better result and it's softer. They're going to go, well, then we'll stop using those. And you can do everything.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the point of building
Right.
this. This was sort of like they go together. They complement each other.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So that's number one.
Oh, yeah, you've got a
That
list.
was my
haven't you,
number
for
one
that?
topic. I have got a list. Number two was new shops. So again, I wanted to bring up, which we already have, this trend, not of. So the trend I'm seeing is not people like you getting an auto. So starting manual, getting an auto. The trend I'm seeing is buyers, people who already have an outlet for the sales, currently using a supplier who dicks them around.
Yeah.
So they say, well, screw you then. I'll
Just
buy
do
my own
stuff.
So that seems to be a thing that I'm seeing a lot. We do skills. One of the biggest problems in this job that I've got right now this week is the skill level of the operators. Well, it's time for me to get
Oh,
up.
right. What time is it over there? I don't think we've said it on air.
6:30 now in the morning. Been up at 5 to watch you drinking your own piss.
See how committed we are. It's half 12 here.
So, skill level is still low, and it throws the question: what do we do about it? Can't just keep moaning that skill levels are low. I'm introducing with the help of the MHMs and the presses that I work with really closely, certificates.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm starting to issue certificates of proficiency, not cycling proficiency, but certificates of being able to use the machine and certifications of your level of skill as a printer. 1 colour job, 2 colour job, 6 colour job, beginner, intermediate and expert. Yeah. And I sort of had this idea a while ago, never did anything about it, and one of my customers has asked me for a certificate.
That's a really good idea.
After I'd done some training with him. He'd got new presses in, and he wanted to refresh all his customers. He's paid for me to go down and refresh his staff. And rightly so, all his staff were really interested, and they learnt lots of new things about these new presses, because the ones they had were 20, 30 years old. And he wanted a certificate to put on the wall. So I threw the idea to the guys at MHM. They loved it, and they're going to back me 100%. So you can be an accredited MHM user.
Oh, how interesting!
With a certificate from Tony P.
See, it's funny that, because I think I've heard this discussed before, but when you think of like a plumber or an electrician, you have to have certain certifications.
Yeah, but they're proper. They're not just a piece of paper from
No,
Tony.
this is where it's leading to. I mean, should there almost be something like that in this industry?
The last entry on my list, it just says school as a reminder for me. I had the opportunity before I did this job, or while I was sort of getting this job going, to actually start an academy.
Right.
So instead of going to places to teach the people on site,
they'd come to you.
Have a site to bring to me. And knowing the industry like I did, I instantly thought it wouldn't work. Instantly. Because there's a massive sort of attitude in the UK, or my perception was at the time. People don't want to learn. That they already believe they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, just the old Kimmy, leave me alone, I know what I'm doing.
I've had some dosh on that t-shirt as well, to be fair. That was a good one, that was top seller.
Yeah. Good for you. So, now, looking back, I think as travelling wears on me, I think I'll probably look at getting... There's a place, John Potter's place down in Nottingham. He's always got a showroom. It looks fantastic. It's all crisp and clean, and there's usually a press and a dryer and a spider and everything in there. It's full darkroom, full working ink kitchen. But John being John, if he gets a machine in after a couple of months, he'll sell it and move it on. So it's great to see them working, but it's also great to see them moving.
Yeah.
So
maybe
John's not a printer, so he once said to me, come down here, set up a little academy down here. You can use whichever press I've got in at the time, and it'll work both ways. And it is a really good idea. It is something that I am really passionate, whether you believe it or not, about the skills in this industry. I'm passionate that they're disappearing. The skills that I was taught don't exist sometimes. That doesn't mean they're better. It means that we started from such a high level, and they slowly disappear a little bit. And we've got to this level, which is still okay, but we started right back up here, and there's a very small amount of people that still stick to those rules of, the basic rules of making the screens, the clean rooms. And you yourself don't have the perfect screen room because it would cost too much money. And we go all the way down there, and we cut these little corners on every part of the process, and eventually we have, it fits us, but really we want to go better, because the problem lies when you try and teach someone, and they believe that what you're doing now is 100%. And in reality, if you're really truthful to yourself, you know that if you're probably working about 75 to 80%.
Oh yeah. But you see,
so
it's a bit like this. it's a bit like this, and maybe this is the reason why. So in my case, the fundamentals, I learned the fundamentals in wrong order. I got the fundamentals after years and years of experience, and eventually I learned the proper way to do things. But it took a lot of years.
Yeah.
Really, you should be learning the fundamentals first. That should be your baseline setting.
Yeah.
And then you improve on that.
And then knowing which corners to cut. Your skill is knowing which corners to cut.
So maybe...
And knowing the price it's going to cost you to not degrease the screen.
Yeah.
And not thinking that, only the big shops degrease screens. We just use soap. We're all right, just give it a quick rinse. Knowing that you must degrease all your screens using this chemical. And then knowing what happens if you don't. And then your ability to take that risk. But you have to start from up here. Yeah. You can't start from never degrease your screens, or unless you get trouble, then degrease one, go back up. You have to start from up here. And I am really, really passionate about the skills in this industry, because digital's not going to overtake it, certainly not in my lifetime, and not even in yours. It's going to complement it. We're still going to need people who know how to push ink through screens. Yeah. You pulled me up on that. Pull ink through screens.
Oh, drop the ball at me, Tony lad.
You went back in time, didn't you? 2019.
I found a few skeletons, didn't I? In the closet.
I know, yeah.
What was it you were looking for? Oh, I can't remember what it was.
High build.
And was it 2017, I think it was? You were working for it.
I was still working at Essential. Yeah, I did a little piece on camera. Start of my contribution to images as well.
It was an images article, and I read it, and first I thought, this is funny. I accidentally stumbled upon a Tony Palmer article, and then I scrolled down a little bit, and what did the heading say? How to push ink through a screen or something like that. And I thought, hang on a minute.
No, it wasn't.
It was something like that.
It was a simplification of the process. All we're doing is pushing ink through.
Right, yeah. Well, all that matters was the word push. For honest.
It's not you, it's me, I'll change.
So it took you a few years to work out the fundamentals as well, then, did it?
I've never pushed ink through a screen, you know that. And there's no evidence anywhere of it.
Oh, I tell you what. Do you want a quick show and tell? We've got time for a quick show and tell.
Go on, I've got nothing for you, but go on.
This is gonna.
Oh, you were doing a high. Is this your high build you were doing?
How do you know? I brought this back out, done. Now, hear me out. I swear to God,
it's not badass. I don't care what you say. It's not badass.
No, this is the cheap version. On high build screens, I swear to God, this cleared that ink better. Swear to God. I was using the Ergos.
Let me see it.
I've even took off the
from the side, straight on from the side. See, even your Ergo has got a stiffener on the front, and that hasn't.
What do you mean by a stiffener?
So you know how we said the Ergo has this long, straight bit here, and you turn it that way, you turn it that way. That's equal.
I think on this, there's more blade exposed than a typical squeegee. If you look at that, that's only a tiny.
We don't print with that bit.
You'll get more flex on it, aren't you? If this bit here,
if you hold that like that, what's that angle? If you hold that like that, what's that angle?
That's straight, isn't it?
So
0 degrees.
So if you want a 15-degree angle on that, your hands are in the ink.
Hold it? No, I can't do this.
Or do you push it?
No, you pull it. You pull it too hard, yeah. It is awkward now. Right. So that's 0 degrees.
Oh, your hands are there. Your hands are. Okay.
However you need it.
Oh, I thought you used it the other way. I thought you pushed it.
No, that would be awful. It'd judder.
It is awful.
That's disgusting. How dare you? Somebody commented on the Instagram the other day and said,
I'd have to splash it with holy water.
I thought I'd never use this again. I don't like them. I did at first. I thought, oh, this is novel. This is a nice, different feeling. And eventually I thought, no, I don't like it.
Don't it give you like carpal tunnel syndrome there?
I didn't get any bother with it. I didn't get any bother. But it's just, I just get a better print using a standard squeegee holder. So if anybody wants to buy some ergos, fantastic. I couldn't slate them.
You bought
I've
them
just
all
got a
new, didn't you?
shitload that I need to get rid of for some reason. No, I got them.
Oh God! I got an email. I got an email from a local community-based print. I want to use the word charity, but probably not charity. Local organisation.
Art centre or something.
Looking for any cast-offs. So old squeegees, old screens, any print equipment, palette knives and stuff. So I'm going to put something on my Instagram to basically. I reckon if it went, they'd probably have so much stuff they'd have too much to do.
Yeah.
With. So local community-based print workshops.
Cool.
And I'm going to stick some on my Instagram later. And if you've got some ergo squeegees you want to get rid of, then you can make yourself feel all warm inside.
All right, we'll see. What was the first
Not
question
your new
of the podcast? Are you money driven?
Yeah. And you said no, you're altruistic. So no. Let's put that to the test.
Swap them for normal blades.
Right, it is coming up to time, I'm afraid. I've got to go and do some
I'm
real
glad
work.
because I really need a wee.
Sun's breaking. Yeah, you've done well, nearly an hour, to be fair. Yeah. And I was worrying about that bottle that you've got.
I've already filled it. I have to recycle it.
It's got fuller when we've been talking, yeah. So we have had another fantastic episode. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. But yeah, it wasn't that much of a car crash. We've done reminiscing, we've done nostalgia, we've been offensive, we've upset, named, shamed some people. So yeah, it's great. Keep it coming. Thank you very much for joining us. Tune in. I want to say 5 o'clock on a Friday, but you've been a bit loose lately, haven't you?
Let's just call it a weekend.
We call it weekend. It's Chippy Tea, mate. We have Chippy Tea at 5
But
o'clock.
to be fair, we're actually on. To spoil the illusion, we're actually on Wednesday, so I think this will be a Friday episode. We might be on time this time.
All right, good, because I'm getting complaints.
So am I. Got half friggin' Jade downstairs.
So, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure from me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny Day, Flippy Sweet Print Co. Stay ya.
Used to be Danny Donald. I'll see you.
Right then. Stop it.